now's not the time, Bendy. Last time we saw each other, you were a giant monster and almost turned me into roadkill. Then, what do you want? Bendy, we talked about this. I'm waiting for the game to come out so I know who to make. How do I know you're legit? Alright, I'll see what I can do. Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Superstar Wolf, and welcome back to LEGO Arts. So, in the last episode, we did a showcase of LEGO Umbrella Academy. So for now, this episode, we are back with LEGO Bendy, but this time we are now doing the first showcase of LEGO Bendy and the Dark Revival. Yes, we are finally getting on Dark Revival, and to start it off, we have Audrey Andrea, our new protagonist for the Dark Revival game. So, if I'm honest about this showcase, I was honestly not expecting to get around to doing this soon. My original plan was to wait until Dark Revival was released, so that way, if there were, like, any other new characters aside from Audrey, I would, like, put together a list, and then be like, okay, so we can do this guy, work on the figures, and then do the showcase by then. However, in the last trailer that they released, they said that the game was now extended to coming out this year, and with everything that's been going on, I think it's now been pushed further back, so I don't think the game's gonna come out until, like, the summer, or maybe even the fall. Either way, I don't think the game is coming out anytime soon. They did, however, released a few action figures revolving around Dark Revival, and one of them included Audrey. So, with seeing that, I decided that, like, how about I at least make one character as sort of a start out for Dark Revival. Plus, it's been a long time since I've done LEGO Bendy, and after I believe it was Bertram Piedmont, I said that I wasn't going to do any more until Dark Revival came out. And, but since we've now been introduced to a new character to the franchise, I decided, you know what, let's go ahead, at least make this one, and see where that goes from there. So, as you guys know the whole drill, we're going to take this minifigure, do a review of it, explain my process, why I went with this route, and then go from there. So, without further ado, let's get the pedestal out, and get this showcase on the road. So, when it came to doing the general design of the character, this was probably one of the harder ones to do. Because, for those of you who don't know, all the Bendy characters that I've made thus far on the channel have always been hand-painted and painted. Each and every one of these have been, like, hand-drawn, hand-painted, and hand-detailed in every way or form. With Audrey, on the other hand, she was an exception because her outfit is detailed in a very specific way, as well as like, her general face design. So, I had to make an exception, because I wanted to make the character, like, as accurate as possible. So, in order to do that, we had to take it on, like, drawcast first, and then print it off, and then paint it to the rest of the character, which actually came out better than I expected. I printed off 2 of these because I didn't know, because in the past I have messed up, like, faces, and after what happened with Umbrella Academy with the eyes, I wanted to have a backup just in case. Luckily, it all turned out well in the end, and I'm really proud of, like, how this face came out. Like, you could see of the ink, like, dripping on her face, down towards her neck. The eyes, I originally drew these in, like, regular just yellow dots, and then after printing them out, I took like, my acrylic, like, yellow marker, draw little dots on the eyes to represent, like, her glowing eyes, and the same thing with the symbol on her left hand. I'm not sure what this is, but I'm pretty sure this is going to have something to do with, like, her powers in the game. So the swirl isn't entirely as accurate as I wanted it to turn out right now, because since this is, like, a small hand, and the marker, like, it drew out a lot of paint, And so with small detailing like that, it's very tedious and very annoying. Very annoying. So I had to draw it out as best I could. It could have come out better, but it's not terrible. The legs, I based these off of the action figure because so far we haven't gotten a full idea of the overall character. So when doing this, I first sand the legs. I did this new technique, and I did it with another minifigure that I'll do in a later showcase. But what I basically did was I took apart the legs, and in the past, what I've always done to help. Okay, can I even move the arm? Okay, we can move the arm a little bit, but probably shouldn't move it too much. I've always sands the waist a little bit, so that way the legs can move. But this time, I stepped it up a little bit and actually sands the whole legs. I sand both of the legs as much as I could without damaging the overall base of it. And then after that, I painted them to match up with the color, retouched them back on, and I believe this does provide some articulation, and this way the paint doesn't chip off too much, and it's actually turned out very well. So I think what I'm going to do from now on for future minifigures with the legs, I'm going to remove them, sand the legs, and then attach them back on. And I even did a similar thing with the arms. Because in the past I've always hated of attaching the arms on and then the paint chipping off at the sides. I always found that annoying. So what I did was I took the arms off and I sanded off a little bit of the inside of the arms. I didn't sand off entirely of it, and that was probably a mistake because you could still see. Hang on, if I readjust the light a little bit, you can see a little bit of paint is still chipped off. So for the next figure, I'll probably sand off the whole, all of the inside of it, so that way both sides will remain to and the paint should stay on. It's not a guarantee, but it's the best option to keep it all on. For the detailing, I tried my best to replicate it as best I could. I'm sorry we can't see too much of it, and it's mainly because since the detailing is so small, it's very hard for the camera to pick it up. But I did my best to do the detailing of the whole character. I first did this in the primary color of this brownish yellowish color. I first did that, and then later on I went back for the black and added in as for the ink. And then what I did is sort of a creative additional detail is that when the black came over the yellow bronze, I redrew that as a gray, and then for the original color, it still remained black for the detailing. I decided to do that as sort of a special effect, and also that way all the detailing could stick out. So with the right arm, it was also tricky to draw it on because I was basing this both off of a cover photo for the game as well as an action figure. So it was a little bit tricky of doing this side, but when I managed to get a good idea of how it's supposed to look, I was able to paint up her shoulder and then adding on this ink as the effect of the ink affecting her. This will probably change when the game officially releases because I remember one of the trailers shows her arm as normal, and then later on it became more effective with ink. So this might go under a change when the game is released. On the back, this was strictly spitballing because I have no idea of what the back is supposed to look like. I tried looking up a 360 angle of the whole action figure itself, but all the photos I found were mainly just focusing on the front. So this backside is strictly spitballing. So when the game releases and we get a actual idea of how the character is supposed to look, I'll go back, refix this so that way it all matches up. And with the hairpiece, I decided to go ahead with the same kind of hairpiece that I used for my first Black Widow minifigure because I felt this is very much 1900s kind of hairstyle. Plus, this matches up fairly well of how Audrey is supposed to look in the game. So I think overall, this is a good sort of hairpiece to use. And the base of the face that I used for this one was a picture of the Lady Liberty minifigure. I used the face before of when I was making, let's see. Oh yeah, when I was making the blue hair Tracy from Detroit Become Human, and my Batwoman minifigure, a figure from the CW Crisis of Infinite Earths, minifigure, and the overall face structure, I felt like it works fairly well. My original thought process was maybe of taking a normal Lego headpiece and recoloring it a bit and adding in all those details. But again, I wanted to make this as accurate as possible, so I had to scrap that idea and go ahead with decal. But you know what? That's okay. Overall, I think this minifigure turned out pretty well. And this might be one of my favorite Bendy figures because it's so unique. It's a brand new character, and so I can't wait to see where exactly this character is going to take us when the game officially releases. Wow, that last round was probably the best supplies gather we've had in a long time. Yeah, and not just these, we got the extra stuff too, like the tapes, the audio logs, and even the ink carts. True that. But say, why do you think the projectionist, Susie, the Butcher Gang, and even the Ink Demon didn't come? The demon must be dealing with some other things. The others... They're probably fine. Wanna play pinball? Sure. Well, that does it for this episode of LEGO Arts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this was actually a pretty fun topic to go back to. It's been a long time since I've been back to LEGO Bendy, and since I said that I wasn't gonna do like Joey Drew, I'm still not gonna make that minifigure. I was really excited to see like new characters entering the Bendy universe. So I'm really excited for Dark Revival and can't wait to see where that goes. So about some other new characters that we've seen thus far. The only other two new characters that I've seen so far are two new versions of Bendy. One is called Cartoon Bendy, which I think is gonna be like the good Bendy that people have been talking about for quite a while. And also a new version of Ink Bendy, which I think that one is going to be talking because they've redesigned his mouth a little bit, so it looks kind of weird, but at the same time, it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I didn't make those characters because, for starters, we already have 4 different versions of Bendy, and I hate doing repeats, so I didn't want to do those immediately. And 2, there's not a lot of background information revolving around those characters, so I don't know entirely of how to proceed with those. So in the future, when we get more information, maybe I'll go back and maybe try to do those characters. Maybe Ink Bendy would be like sort of a remake for our current Ink Bendy. But for now, I think Dark Revival is going to be put on hold. Again, in the future, I'll probably do both those Bendys. But for now, Dark Revival is going to be on hold. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this showcase. So for our next showcase, we're going to be going back to another video game topic I haven't been back to in a while. I won't say entirely what it is, but as I said from my little teaser from my previous episode, it's going to be involving the night sky. That's all I'm going to leave it as that. But anyways, if you want to take a closer look at like Audrey's decals, and even see some of the other art projects that I've done, you can check them out in my DeviantArt account in the description below. If you want to check out like my other Bendy showcases, as well as some other showcases from like Detroit Become Human, God of War, Kingdom Hearts, Ruby, and all those other projects, you can check them all out in my LEGO Arts playlist. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. So, if you guys would like to see more videos like this in future, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. It really helps us work on Let's Plays, LEGO projects, and mainly have some fun. So anywho, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, comment up below, share with your friends, subscribe to YouTube, follow me on Twitch. And here's a hop on the road. Ow! Woo! Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. What do you guys, Moon Rises?